Easter's in full bloom at Whole Foods Market with great deals on spiral cut bone-in ham and leg of lamb, both crowd pleasers. Round out your spread with quiche, deviled eggs, and delicious catering platters from Prepared Foods. Oh, and remember to pick up a Whole Foods Market bunny cake from the bakery. Strapped for time? They cater too, with delicious options available without the effort. Find hundreds of Easter deals and delights now at Whole Foods Market.
First of all, you have to have some good content, and you want to be yourself. That's number one. Be yourself, get your content, and see which way you want to take it. Maybe come up with a hashtag, come up with a successful name, brand yourself, market yourself, and of course, get the BVMobile apps.
You are now listening to the BVMobile Apps Podcast. The show is designed to help you grow your mobile app audience and get advice from experts in your industry. Now, here's your host, Sean Garvey.
What's going on, everybody? Of course, you already know who this is, the architect himself, Sean Garvey. Welcome to another exciting edition of the BVMobile Apps Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Now, stick around because we're going to give you more information about BVMobile Apps and how it can benefit you, all right? In the meantime, between time, on the telephone lines, we have an entrepreneur. She is a personal chef. She is also a business owner, a blogger, as well as a podcast host. She is the host of Making Love in B's Kitchen, and she has her own app as well. It's called JustATouchofJ, and you can download the app right now. But before you do that, I want to talk to her about her podcast, and she's going to give you some information about how you can start your own podcast and all things considered food. And you know, like the saying goes, one way to a man's heart is through food or through the kitchen. On the phone lines with me is, of course, no other than Jill. Jill, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. We're doing good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak to myself, yours truly, and our listening audience about your podcast. And you are also a proud client of BVMobile. Thank you so much for calling in to the show. You got a lot going on. Like I mentioned earlier, you are a personal chef, a business owner, a blogger, and a podcast. So I'm just going to start off the interview by asking you this. How do you sleep at night? How do you find the time to sleep?
Okay, I don't. I really don't sleep. I don't know. I try to sleep whenever I can because I travel around the world for work as well, you know, with my nursing career. So I don't get much rest. But, you know, I make it do what it is.
How long have you been in the business of being a personal chef?
Oh, man, that's it. All my life. No, probably about 21 years I've been cooking. Yeah, about 21.
Okay, and what are some of the experiences that you went through as a personal chef, both good and bad?
Oh, child. Well, first of all, the bad part about it was that at first I couldn't cook. Well, I could always cook, but I just would mess up food all the time. Like, I don't know, I would get really nervous and food just wouldn't work for me. And then I just started, you know, letting God go ahead and just lead me with what I needed to do with cooking and just listening, you know, down deep within. And, you know, a lot of the good things started coming out from that. So I guess, you know, some of the good things would be, you know, I got to travel around the world. I got to meet a lot of people. I got to cook for a lot of different people, be in a lot of people's kitchens, bring love to them. And some of the bad things would just be in the beginning, I just didn't do well at all. I mean, I couldn't even make pancakes, let alone rice.
Mm-hmm. So who taught you how to cook? Was it your mother? Was it your dad? Or was it a different family member?
I don't know. Like, it just came to me. My nanny, shout out to my nanny, you know, Miss Harris, rest in peace. She will always be in the kitchen with her, and this is what I would ask her. I would say, Nanny, how is it that you do it? You know, do you measure it? How is it? You know, what do you do? It tastes so good. And she would say, you would just know. When it comes to you, you're just going to know. You know, it's about love. And everybody would come in and they would say, Nanny, what you doing? You in here making love in the kitchen? And she would say, yeah, I'm making love in the kitchen. And everybody just would have so much love. So I just would pay attention to the fact of, you know, watching her do different things and just, you know, seeing how she prepared different meals and stuff like that. And I said, you know what? I could do this. I could do this. So I would say Nanny inspired me. Nobody really taught me. My dad used to cook for a lot of celebrities, growing up and things like that. He also was a chef. But I was young then, like maybe 2, 3, 4 years old, So I don't know. It's just I guess it's innate behavior, something I got.
People consider food or actually cooking food in the kitchen as a form of art. Do you see it as a form of art, or do you see it as a job?
Oh, art. Yes, definitely art. Not a job at all.
Art, hands down.
Yeah, it's an art to it. Making love in V's kitchen. It's just something that just, all these original recipes that I come up with, I don't look them up. I don't do anything. These are things that are just, led to me by my spirit. And I just go ahead and I cook and I prepare what's on my heart and what's on my mind. Even if it doesn't make sense to me, I just put it together. So it's definitely art.
Now, you are known to post various pictures of food and recipes. And this is something that you want to share to your social media followers.
Yes.
Where did the idea come from for you to post pictures of what you do in the kitchen?
Well, a lot of people who follow me on social media, they know me personally, and they tasted my food. And they're like, you should go ahead, you should do a cookbook, you should do this, and you should do that. But I love making music videos and putting them behind my food. I want to go ahead and put myself out there in pieces differently than other people do. So what I just went ahead and did, I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and just try to do it this way. Just trying to do something a little different. And just putting it out there like that. So what I decided to do was let me start sharing on Facebook and then start sharing on Instagram. And, people loved it.
And the rest was history.
Yeah, the rest was history. Things started going viral and people started liking it. And I'm like, wow, this is something. I got something going on here. People just started liking it. They just started loving it, and they started loving the recipe. So I started giving out the recipe to people, and they loved it.
Has anybody come up to you before and say, Jill, you are like the black female version of G. Garvin? Because G. Garvin, to many of us, is like one of the few or maybe the only person that we really, really know in our community as that black chef that puts it down in the kitchen. Has anybody came to you with that approach?
No, but you so thorough for doing that. Oh, my gosh. Shout out to you. Yes. No, nobody compared me to him. But that's an honor right there.
And my last name, my real last birth name is Garvin, so I can see the connection already.
Yeah, I see it. I see you doing your thing right there.
For those who are just tuning in to the BV Mobile Apps podcast, we are talking to Jill. She has a blog called Making Love in V's Kitchen, and she also has her own app and podcast called Just a Touch of J. We're going to talk about her podcast in just a few moments, but speaking of Making Love in V's Kitchen, the making love part, it speaks for itself. How did you decide to incorporate making love with what you do in the kitchen?
Well, that goes back to Nanny again. Well, it's like two things, okay? First of all, I'm sexy. You have to have sex appeal.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm in the kitchen, I feel like I'm making love. The food just does something to me. It just turns me on. When I cook that food, it just tastes so good. And just looking at everybody when they eat it, it just, watching the love just flow through them because it just tastes so amazing. So that was one part of it. And then making love in V's Kitchen, because like I said, Nanny, when everybody would come over, they'd say, what you doing? And she would say, I'm making love in the kitchen. And they were just like, oh my God, this tastes so good. You put your foot in it, and everybody was just so happy and just had so much joy. And they just had just so much love. So I just took both of them and put them together. And I just said, making love in V's Kitchen. So that's how that came.
Well, you see where I came with the phrase, the classic saying, one way to a man's heart is through the kitchen.
Yes. Yes.
And I just love how you explained that about making love in V's Kitchen and incorporating in that. Making love is intimacy and is also a form of art, in which you established earlier that cooking is a form of art. So I like how you put those two pieces together.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, do you think that cooking and making food in the kitchen and incorporating making love in the kitchen, do you think that is a huge recipe to keep two people together in a relationship?
Yes, I do. And actually, on my podcast, when we're going to talk about that, I actually do like couple tutorials. Where I'm like, get your boo and come on, and I go ahead and I talk them through, this whole setup of making love in their own kitchen. I want to inspire people. I want people to be able to have joy through cooking, make love together in the kitchen through cooking good food.
I like that.
Most definitely a couples thing. Yeah, and for family too. But you could definitely do that with your boo all the time.
I love it. I love it already. Now let's switch gears for a moment and let's go ahead and talk about the podcast. You already have the podcast established called Just a Touch of J. Talk to us about the podcast.
Oh, man. So podcast basically started, I had went through something, and I had some healing that I had to do. And what happened is about a year had went by, and I got a little alert. Lord laid it on my heart, share your story. And I'm saying to myself, I can't share this, things I went through and stuff like that. And, putting it out there in pieces is kind of like what came to me. So I said, how could I share this thing? And I had actually been researching about a podcast. So I went ahead and I said, you know what, maybe I could share it on a podcast. And at this time, I really wasn't speaking and things like that. I'm kind of like shy and stuff. So I said, you know what? Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll call it putting it out there in pieces and I'll share it. And I went ahead and I shared my story, and then I just kept on just putting little parts of me out there in pieces. And what I did was I called it Just a Touch of J, because that was a hashtag that I had to inspire people. So I said, you know what? I'll name it Just a Touch of J because I'm actually putting myself out there in pieces. So that's kind of how my podcast started, and that's kind of what my podcast is all about, just putting me out there in pieces for everyone, and everybody is a part of that puzzle.
Okay. What can people expect from the podcast? Because as a listener of your podcast, I've had a chance to listen to some of your material on the podcast. And when people go, I know you get down and dirty at times in some of your episodes, but they are also informative as well. What can people expect from the podcast?
Oh, man, you can get everything from the podcast. It's these podcast topics. It's Just a Touch of J's perspective on any and everything. That's basically what it is. You can get stuff about the haters and how you deal with the haters. You can get things on, spiritual wellness and advice. You can get things on health, exercise. You can get just a touch of me, acting crazy on any given day. You can just get whatever it is that's out there. You can get that. You can get my food, some of my food recipes, tutorials. Oh, my gosh, everything. You can get anything on Just a Touch of J, because it's literally Just a Touch of J, baby, and I'm just putting it out there in pieces for you. So that's what you can get.
So it's diverse. It's more than just food. It's other. It's other topics. It could be something about what's going on in pop culture, or it could be something about personal relationships, or what's going on in the social climate of the world.
Yes, absolutely.
You take it there.
Yeah, we could talk about Nipsey Hussle. I did something about that. Everything. Like anything and everything that's the V's podcast topic. If you type in V's podcast topics on any of your social media or just Google it, you will see different things, and those things are the things that I talk about. Okay.
Now, for people that are new to podcasts, they're listening to this podcast, of course, and they are telling themselves, well, hey, I want to do a podcast just like Jill, or I want to do a podcast just like Sean Garvey. What does it take to put together a successful podcast, and how can one person go out and market it?
Well, to put it together, first of all, you have to have some good content, and you want to be yourself. Okay, that's number one. Be yourself, get your content, and see which way you want to take it. Find someone, like I went through Anchor, okay? And I went through Anchor, and Anchor goes ahead and distributes your podcast to different people and things like that. So that's what I did. And you just go ahead and you just put it together that way. Google something, maybe come up with a hashtag, come up with a successful name, brand yourself, market yourself, put these things out on your other social media platforms, and things like that. And, of course, get the BVMobile app. Definitely want to do that. You got to get the app, because the app, the podcast comes straight through the app. You set it up like that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Once again, for those who are just tuning in, we are talking to Jill of Just a Touch of J and Making Love in V's Kitchen right here on the BVMobile Apps podcast with Sean Garvey. And she is also a client of BVMobile. Now, I already downloaded the app. I'm looking at the app right now, and you have a lot of things going on. You have video, you have pictures. Oh my goodness. You even got videos of you showing your followers and viewers the food that you have made yourself in the kitchen. We got to talk about it for a moment. Let's talk about some of the delectables that I've seen you make in the kitchen. Let's talk about the glazed scallops and lobster over orange cauliflower mash. What is that all about?
Oh, my gosh. That's something that I just made. Yes. I loved it. So what I did was, like I told you, like I lay these things on my heart, and I go ahead and I just do what it is that's laid on my heart and in my spirit. And I went ahead and I went and got some scallops, and I went and got some lobster, and, God laid on my heart, get an orange. And I'm like, orange? That don't even go together. But okay. And then I ran past and said, well, what else should I put in it? It was orange cauliflower, and I never had orange cauliflower. But I said, okay. And I went ahead and I got all the ingredients, that were laid on my spirit. And I came to the house, and I was like, okay. I stand in front of my cabinet in my kitchen. And I go ahead and I just look and I go, okay, what goes with this? What goes with that? And I just put it all together. And I just put it out there in pieces. And that's what I did. And I created cauliflower mash. And I did a orange marmalade, like a glazed sauce over lobster and scallops. And, I put it out there for them in pieces.
Okay.
And that's what I do. I just make Love in V's Kitchen. And it was amazing. And I couldn't believe it. I said, oh, my gosh, this tastes so good. So that's what that whole recipe was about. Yes.
Okay.
And I did a video about that, and I did 4 songs in that video to display that.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Salmon baked potatoes. You got to talk to our listeners about that. Salmon baked potatoes.
You like that salmon baked potato? You like that salmon baked potato?
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, that salmon baked potato, that thing right there, that was something that I had did, back then, but that's nothing. You just take a little salmon, and you do what you do with it, and you make your baked potato, and you go ahead and you put it on your baked potato any way you want to put it on there. That's just a touch of J. That's nothing. That's something real simple. That's light work. That's something you do just in case you just want a little baked potato, you want to add to it, turn it up a notch. That's one of them type of things right there. Amazing dish stuff. Really tastes amazing.
Gotcha. Okay. Now let's move over to dessert. Because I've seen you put it down in the kitchen, not just only when it comes to foods that you would make for a family member, for your friends, or for your mate when it comes to dinner time. But when it comes to dessert, oh my goodness, we got to talk about this peach cornbread pie. I never heard of a peach cornbread pie, but you got to break that down to our listening audience.
First of all, baby, you ain't heard of no peach cornbread pie because I'm the person who made it up. Okay? That's my original recipe, peach cornbread pie. Can't nobody do that but me. Okay? It's just a touch of J. Okay? Just remember that. So the peach cornbread pie, it came to me because I wanted to make something that had to do with peaches. And I like peach cobbler. Shout out to my grandma, Miss Satterfield. She does an amazing peach cobbler. And I'm like, what can I do with these peaches? And I said, I love cornbread. I laid it on my heart, make peach cornbread pie. And it was funny because I'm like, that doesn't even sound right. That sounds kind of ghetto. It doesn't work. That's what I'm thinking to myself. That name, just the whole thing. I'm like, I don't know. But I went ahead and I said, let me go ahead and I try and make it. So it's just basically a basic pie crust. And you go ahead and you make your peach do your peach pie mixture or your peach cobbler, and you do your pie crust, and you do your cornbread, and then you do the layer of the peach mixture, and then you just do another layer of cornbread, and you put it in the oven, baby. And you make love in your kitchen. It's real simple.
Oh, my goodness.
It's amazing. Oh, my gosh, it's amazing. I have to make you some and bring it to you, okay?
Yes. ASAP.
Yes. ASAP. It's so good. You're going to be like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah, bring that ASAP, or in the words of T.I., expeditiously. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Okay, now we can't leave out the drink, all right? And the drink that I've been paying very closely attention to is the hater's passion. We have so many haters out here in the universe.
Yes.
But, that just gets on your nerves. But you need that hater's passion to kind of relax and chill from all the hating that is coming towards you. But for those that never heard of the hater's passion, break that down also.
Well, I came up with the drink because I'm getting a lot of feedback from entrepreneurs and people who are starting businesses and things like that. But a lot of people are not supporting them, and they just experiencing a lot of hate. So I said, you know what? I should come up with a drink called the hater's passion, because haters hate with a passion. So basically, that's what the drink is all about. And you got to give it to your haters, and what you do is you drink it when you feel the hate coming. It's going to relax you. It's going to make you feel good. And for the haters, you give it to your haters. You got some secret haters, and it'll help them with that whole hate thing. Because hate is acknowledgement. It's just love backwards. So actually, what you're doing is you're making love in your kitchen by making it, and you're giving it to the haters. So, they experience some of that because they need it, because they hate it with a passion. So that's their whole thing. It's exotic. It's mellow. It tastes phenomenal. Oh, my God. It just does something. See, you can tell how I'm talking about it right now. It just does something. See, baby. Oh, my God. You got to get that hater's passion drink. Yes. Try it out. It's on the app. JustATouchofJ app.
Wow. It got to be just as good as making love. Or making love in V's kitchen.
It's as good as making love and making love in V's kitchen, honey. Yes, it is. I'm trying to tell you. It's amazing. Oh, my gosh. It has mint. Oh, my gosh. Mango, papaya. Just so many good ingredients in it. Cinnamon, nutmeg. Try it out. You gotta try it out.
I am.
70 proof alcohol.
I'm going to need some of that after the podcast.
Yeah, you do. You better go ahead and make it. I'm trying to tell you, it's going to be amazing. And you're going to call me and say, I'm going to have to give this to the haters right here. This is definitely a hater's passion drink. Yes.
Yes, indeed. So before we conclude, because we only have a few minutes left here on the BV Mobile Apps podcast, I want to go back just a little bit, because you already explained to people how they can put together a successful podcast and market it. My question to you is, from one podcaster to another, where do you see podcasts going nowadays?
Oh, my gosh. So many levels, so many heights. You can do so much with podcasting. Yeah, it's going to take off. Podcasting is the new way. You know how social media is taking off? What now? We have Instagram that's really out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's going places. Podcasting is definitely going places as far as marketing is concerned. Good content, helping people. Oh my gosh, it's going places.
Well said. Okay, so the app is, of course, called JustATouchofJ, and it's available online. So go ahead and let the listeners know where they can download the app from.
Oh my gosh, you can download my app from your store, your app store, Google Play, Amazon, Apple. You can go ahead and get it from there. Y'all know I got the Apple Store and everything like that, iTunes and all that. You can get it from there. You can go on BVMobile, okay, and get it from there, blackvibes.com. You can click on it. You could Google me, JustATouchofJ, and get the app from there. Everything. Anything you want to do, you can find me, JustATouchofJ, and you got the app.
And it's easy. It's easy like 1, 2, 3. It's easy like
1, 2, 3. Just like that. Just literally. JustATouchofJ. You can Google it, app, and you'll see everything that's there. You can get the app just like that.
Okay. Now, what's next for the podcast? Do you have anything else coming up with the podcast? Because what I see, and it's just a pitch here, what I see is you teaching a video class on people who may not be proficient in the kitchen as you, maybe like put together a video tutorial of how to cook certain foods or just how to cook, period. Because we have some folks out there that don't know how to cook. Is that something that you want to pursue doing in the next few episodes of your podcast?
Most definitely, yes. And I'm also doing, I'm doing some radio stuff now too. Okay, so what I'm doing is my goal is to come out with a cooking show that's kind of like Yo MTV Rap. You know how back in the day we had Yo MTV Rap?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go ahead and I want to take these up-and-coming artists and put their music behind my food and actually make love in the kitchen and show them how to cook. So I want to go ahead and I want to put that out on my podcast and do things like that. So right now what I'm doing is some music and I'm promoting different artists and things like that behind my food. So I'm definitely going to do that. Definitely, that's actually what I'm doing. You know, working on it.
Okay. I love it already. Well, there you have it, folks. I am going to get me some food. I'm going to get some of Jay's food, start making some love in the kitchen with some haters' passion. And definitely.
And you got to get the seafood collard greens, too.
Absolutely. That's on my list. And I'm going to listen to more of your episodes on the podcast, which is available on the app, Just a Touch of J. Yep. So go ahead and give people your contact information and your social media handles.
Okay, so we have, my name is RONI76 on Instagram, baby, where you can check me out. We have Making Love in V's Kitchen on Instagram as well. You can follow me on Facebook, which is Veronica's Guide to Making Love in the Kitchen. That's the cookbook of love. Also, Facebook, JustATouchofJ. I'm on Twitter, JustATouchofJ, and also Making Love in V's Kitchen and Tumblr as well. So all you have to do is just click JustATouchofJ, Google me, and you will find out everything. And, of course, BVMobile app has all access.
Okay. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The one and only Jill, entrepreneur, personal chef, business owner, blogger, and a podcast host. So make sure you tune in and watch all the great stuff that she is putting out there so that way she can get your stomach full already, because she already has my stomach full as we speak.
Yeah, and before we go, real quick, I forgot. I just came out with my fitness stuff. So y'all make sure y'all check that out too. JustATouchofJ Fitness on Instagram as well, because I got a fitness company, you know, too. So check that out. Okay,
there you have it. Hey, to burn all that fat and burn all that extra stuff that you put in your stomach after watching Jay's videos and getting some of her food, you can burn all of that in the gym with Jay.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you so much for calling into the BV Mobile Apps Podcast. Hey, listen, folks, it is Sean Garvey getting ready to sign off, but I want you all to please send us an email and let us know what you think about this edition of the podcast. Send all your comments, questions, and your feedback to podcast@bvmobileapps.com. That's podcast@bvmobileapps.com. And you can follow me on all your social media at Sean Garvey ATL on Instagram, Twitter, and for all my Facebook users out there, you can follow me at Sean Garvey. And please go to the website, bvmobileapps.com, for more information. This is Sean Garvey signing off. Tune in again to another edition of the BV Mobile Apps Podcast. We will talk to you all soon. Peace.
It's a new year. It's a new day. Starting it over, starting the day.
Thank you for listening to the BV Mobile Apps Podcast with your host, Sean Garvey. For more information about BV Mobile Apps, visit the website, bvmobileapps.com. Don't forget to follow BV Mobile Apps on social media at BV Mobile Apps. Tune in again next time on the BV Mobile Apps Podcast.